I'm Niklas. I live in Luxembourg now since 18 years. Originally, I'm from Finland. I grew up in Helsinki, but moved here because of work. I work as a translator for the European Parliament here in Luxembourg. And I am still married, but separated, 3 children, 2 still at home in school here in Luxembourg, and 1 is studying in London at the moment. Now, perhaps, a little bit of my background, why I decided to reach out to you. Let me first say that my main anxiety-related issue is hypochondria. That is, I've always been overly worried about my health.
Yes.
And a serious illness. It's always been an issue for as long as I can remember, as a child and as in my youth. But it's been more or less under control. I never took any medication, but it's taking up. It has always been taking up quite a lot of energy, and I've done, as I'm sure many of you, read books, done online courses, live courses. I've done meditations before. I've been to Joe Dispenza's meditation retreats a couple of times. And it's all been good. It's all been great. Interesting. You meet like-minded people. But it's difficult when you get back home, because then you tend to fall into those old patterns, and it's very difficult to establish good routines and to keep up that good work that you may have started. But then you come back to your own old life, and things are more or less, they fall back into those same patterns, as I said. So I was really looking for some more lasting change. And as far as the hypochondria is concerned, 2016, my mother passed. And that same year, I separated from my wife. So a lot happened in 2016, and I've had some physical symptoms as well. And they became worse. And of course, that's a vicious circle, because you feel, especially if you're a hypochondriac, you feel the symptoms, and then you start to worry. And when you worry, you even feel them more symptoms or more intensely. So that was a pretty difficult year. And but ups and downs. And then we arrive at probably end of November of last year, 2020. I find you in my Facebook feed, and it was your radiant personality and the way you introduced the workshop that definitely caught my attention. And so I decided to join. As you said, I decided to join the same workshop you're doing now, or more or less, the 5 or was it 7 days at the time. And I was very impressed. I was very impressed by you and by your team. So that's why I decided to take that leap and to join the group. What also attracted me was the fact that this was a long-term commitment, 6 months. It meant that I could really one can go quite deep in 6 months, and you. It's enough time to develop new routines as well, and of course with the support of you and the group during that time, and also the size of the group. I found it very good that we're working in a small group of around, I think we've been around 8 or 9 people, usually during the group sessions at the most. Yes. Which means that everyone is given the necessary space, and everyone can have his or her voice heard, and so that also attracted me, and the whole concept of actually, I never believed in just one method. I think you need to combine many different methods and instruments and tools, and the fact that you have the sort of the conscious mind, the thinking, the thought patterns that you may want to change, and you have the subconscious level. Through meditation, you get to those subconscious levels that are so important if you want permanent change in your life. Yeah. and then also the spiritual aspect. I always been very interested in spirituality, and so that's it was really a good combination of all these that attracted me to your course. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for sharing your story. And you know, it's, again, I value it so much, you know, because so many people struggle with anxiety, and even specifically anxiety that is related to health issues. And as you share, you know, you've never had a serious health issue, but still you've been struggling with this fear all your life, and it really reduces the quality of life, right? The well-being that is possible and that you deserve. So first and foremost, just sharing that gives so much, I think, support, just by sharing this for people who are listening now, and knowing that they are not alone, that they are not the only ones who struggle with this, is so precious. So I want to thank you for doing that, for being open and share. And then, of course, for sharing all the nice things that you mentioned about the program so far and about myself. So thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, there are even comments here coming in the group for people who can relate to that. So just so you know that this means a lot to people, and you by being here are already giving a lot to others. So thank you so much. Yes, absolutely.
And that's also the power of the group, obviously, that you have. Well, you meet these new people, very nice people, all of them, and they may have very different stories from yours, but you still relate to them on different levels, because you share that, call it worry or fear or anxiety, and you can understand them quite well, even if your story is different from theirs. So that's been that's the strength of these group sessions.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy that you're sharing about that, because I know that people sometimes, you know, they either fear or, you know, have this worry or reservation that, you know, the group, how to connect to people, you know, if they can connect to people that they don't know, or what would that require of them, you know, in terms of opening up to strangers, or, you know, being social with others. And of course, when it comes to anxiety, that can be scary, right? And challenging. So do you have anything else to say about that, just to help people kind of have an idea, not only for me, you know, have an idea of, because I keep saying this is such a gift, the group. I didn't, at first, when I started working, I didn't have group sessions. I was only doing one-to-one. And I find the group sessions to be an amazing upgrade to the whole thing, because it gives something that cannot be replaced by any other setting. So do you have anything else to share, you know, around some reservation that people might have around, you know, being part of a group and opening up and finding your place and being social, so to speak, in our very gentle and intimate and loving group? Maybe you can share a little bit more about that.
Yeah, as I was saying, the size of the group helps, obviously.
Yes.
And people are very supportive. People are very vulnerable and open, and understanding. And obviously, in a group of people, you have those who talk a lot, and those who may be a bit more reserved. And some have English as their mother tongue, others have, you know, other languages as their mother tongue. So, but it's not it's never been. It's just a strength. It's not a problem. I never found it to be a problem. The interesting thing, before deciding to join, I of course you hesitate a little. You think, oh, you know, it's an investment, obviously, but I had this idea that, is my anxiety serious enough?
Mm-hmm.
A bit odd, but the thing is, since, as I mentioned, I've always been functional.
Yeah.
So that hypochondria has taken away a lot of joy in my life, but still I've always been functional. So I thought, well, maybe if I join a group and people have all sorts of really serious issues, and some do. We're all on different levels, but again, it's not been a problem. I've realized that it's not only about overcoming your anxiety and your fears, it's also about finding more joy in general.
Yeah.
And maybe put the emphasis on that as well. Because as joy, the joy element grows, obviously, you feel less anxious and you feel less fear.
Yeah.
So all that is through the group. It's very helpful, and you can discuss anything, I feel, and as you probably mentioned, we have the WhatsApp group as well. Some are very active, and it's also a nice way to connect to each other.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it's really important for people to understand the power of this group and how much it is really like a family, and the connections that are being created there, and the support in the WhatsApp group, and how actually witnessing other people's journey is so empowering and heart opening. So thank you for helping me convey this. And is there anything, I mean, we haven't been working that long together, and we haven't yet reached some of the processes that are waiting for us, and I'm so looking forward to this. But I wonder if so far there is anything else other than the group that we've been talking about now, in the process, in the program, in what we are doing together, that you can say has been so far most meaningful or helpful on any level?
Yes, absolutely. It was a bit of a surprise to me, actually, when I joined. I knew, as I said, I listened to your presentation, but then when we started during our one-to-one sessions, we started to discuss managing your time and your calendar. So that was a very, very, very concrete thing that we've now started to work with. Still early days and still taking the first steps. It's been a problem for me in general to sort of manage my time in an effective way. And I mean, there's a lot, both privately and at work, of course. And it's, as I said, very concretely looked at the calendar, at the different blocks, and how to manage the different tasks. So that's been very useful. And another thing I'd say would be shifting my thoughts.
Yeah.
And I believe you've been discussing this in this group as well. I had a few, well, call them incidents since I joined. I had an accident with my car, and also some health issues with arrhythmia, irregular heartbeat, and both these were challenges in a way, but also opportunities to actually very actively and very consciously change the way I think, and to make those small shifts, and not get into a spiral of worrying or too much overthinking. So those two areas I definitely, and routines in general, we discussed that. The fact that you are accountable to someone is also very good, because it helps you to keep to the routines, and you when it comes to, for instance, the meditation practice,
to implement it.
Yeah,
and thank you so much for sharing that. I always say, it's a big difference between going to sessions once every week or every 2 weeks, but then just being on or going to retreats, even the most amazing retreats. You mentioned Joe Dispenza, who is definitely my favorite teacher, but then going home and going to your day-to-day life and facing the same challenges and get triggered by the same triggers, and there's no one there to be accountable and to hold your hand or check in on you or remind you the little shifts, that they are small, but they create huge changes over time. And this is why it's so important to me to really, really be in touch with everyone and check in every day or two, and make sure that you're on track, because we want to keep on track. Otherwise, the old track is kind of magnetic in a way, because of the momentum that it has.
Absolutely. I very much appreciate the support with, you know, the one-to-one support through WhatsApp messages, and apart from the sessions that we have together. Yeah, and of course all the other. I've been fortunate enough to work with Danielle, with Ojas, and with Joanna as well, meditation, and hopefully also with Michael later on, the astrologer. But it's a very good team, and different members, I feel, really complement each other very well indeed.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much. And you were actually, I remember you jumped right in. You booked a call with me, but then you decided to join even before the call, and we used our call the next day to celebrate your decision, if I remember correctly. So I wonder if you have anything to say, you know, to people who are watching and maybe are struggling either with health-related anxiety or any other kind of insecurity or anxiety or, you know, emotional struggles, and are, you know, this is a big decision, right? It's an investment, it's a commitment, and many people have tried many things before, like you have, and so it's harder maybe to trust that this time this will work for me. So I wonder if you have anything to say to, you know, to people who feel drawn, who feel called, who really want to know that they can make a decision and feel confident about it. And so you kind of on the other side, you know, going down with the elevator to help people get on it and move back up with you to join us. If you have any words of encouragement or anything to say that can bring some clarity on that level.
Well, let me say that in my case, it was definitely the right choice to make, and I'm very happy that I made it. It's a very safe space to be in, both the group and all the one-to-one sessions as well. It's a financial commitment, of course, and I understand that might be an obstacle for some, but still it's investing in yourself and in your future, and it's such an important. We sometimes tend to invest or buy things that we don't really need, but this is the core of you, your being. So it's such an important thing to invest in yourself in this way, and as there are many tools on offer, and you really have nothing to lose, in my opinion. You can try the different tools. Some may speak to you more than others, but still with this support, and as long as the group is small, I hope you keep it small like this.
Yes, we only have more group sessions to allow more people to join, but we never have more than 8 people on a call. Yeah, that's my promise.
That's really nice, because of course it as I said earlier, that also helps to create that safe space being.
And I would say usually we even have less than that. I mean, we've had some sessions with 8 people on the call. I think that was maybe the maximum we've had. Probably. And usually it's even sometimes 3 even, or 4 people. So it will never be more than 8. This is definitely my intention and my plan.
And as you get to know people better, it's really easy. It's even easier than to open up and to talk very, very openly about anything on your mind.
Yes.
I would perhaps also, a few days ago, you had a discussion with Ojas, and I happened to be logged in then on Facebook, so I saw the discussion with Ojas, and he said something towards the end. He said that life is short, which is also like to emphasize in this context. Why wait? I mean, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow, and or it's so important to feel better, especially if it's possible. And as some of the other people in the group have witnessed, that it can actually happen very quickly. You don't have to go do years of therapy, for instance, but it can really happen in a short time. You can make a big change for the better.
Yes. Thank you so much, Niklas, for being here and for sharing that. You know what, before I let you go, because I think I saw a couple of questions coming that maybe are for you, I don't know, so if you don't mind. For example, what was the most useful practice you got from the course to reduce your anxiety? That's one question. If you have anything, well, we haven't been working that long together, but if you have anything to elaborate on that, since it's a question here, then that would be great.
Well, I would definitely say the meditations were very, very useful in that sense. And also, as I mentioned, the shift in thinking, really actively choosing another thought.
Yes.
That practice in those challenging moments, that would be the two. And obviously everything, but if I need to pick just a few, these would be the two that were most helpful.
Yes, the meditation and shifting the thoughts. And it's exactly what I keep talking about. It's those pillars. And really the deep emotional healing, these are things that specifically you and I, Niklas, have had the opportunity to do more in a group setting. And it's on our calendar to do a deeper session, a deeper healing session very, very soon. So maybe next time you come and share your experiences, you'll have more to say about that. But it's really amazing to see how this how is this really, it's really working like that. We have our conscious level where we can much easily access and create shifts just by practice. It's that skill that we're talking about. And then the spiritual practice, which is so important. And these two things already hold pretty balanced level. And then the deeper emotional healing comes, and the avenue to reach it is already paved thanks to those other two pillars that hold this already, and the support that you've mentioned as well, the consistent and very close hands-on support and accountability, that is the fourth pillar. So thank you so much for being here and sharing this. We haven't planned this. I mean, you knew what kind of questions I'm going to ask you, but of course you were just sharing honestly your experience. So it's amazing to see how this unfolds and reflects so accurately. So thank you so much. I appreciate so much you being here. And
I hope it's helpful to someone. And yes, please join. That's advice.
Yeah. Thank you, Niklas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm sending you my love and my gratitude, and I'll see you very, very soon.
Yes, see you. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye, Niklas. Thank you.